Go.
Hailing frequencies are open.
And welcome everyone to Star Trek Livingstone, your fortnightly Star Trek adventures. Actual live play game. Hello, Captain Quinn, and anyone else watching. Great to see you all. Hope everyone is staying nice and cool in the shade, keeping hydrated, all the rest of it. And looking very cool out of uniform. We have Alastair, Captain Wagner.
Hey, Stu. Yeah. Too hot for the red today. Yeah, good, thank you. Looking forward to another Star Trek adventure. Yeah, but definitely too warm for the uniform today. So short sleeves.
Yeah, I can't say, but I don't know how long this is going to stay as is, because it is a bit on the warm side. And I don't know if it's the lighting or if you've just really caught the sun, Ed. But do you need a bucket of chamomile lotion?
We're on full glow today, aren't we? I'm not actually as burnt as it looks. I don't know why it's gone a bit. It seems going a bit red here, but yes, I'm here. I'm in uniform because, let's face it, I'm sort of a lunatic who dresses up in woolly clothes for a hobby on hot weather anyway.
Yeah, you do the really thick reenactment stuff, don't you? I mean, that like
Phrasing, Stu, phrasing.
really thick clothing.
It embraces all aspects of
you knew what I meant, didn't you, Ed?
The social demographic, yes. Yes. Linen shirt, linen lined coat, 2 thicknesses of wool coat, hat, neck stock, woolen stockings. That's your summer uniform.
Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't be out doing that in this weather, would they?
Oh yes, absolutely, and warmer than that. But you know, as a sop towards the men's comfort, there was one original document that said that the men could take off their waist belts and put them across their shoulders to relieve the heating on the breast.
Oh, that'll help.
Very generous, very generous. And in the meantime, to keep me cool, I'm having a nice hot cup of tea, because whose grandma wouldn't tell you that on a hot day like today, cup of tea cools you down.
Never understand that.
There is a logic to it where I remember hearing this years ago, where if you drink a cold drink, your body takes energy away to bring it up to body temperature that it would use for cooling you down. Anyway, but it doesn't feel as nice. Anyway, looking equally as cool with his skyscape photo in the background, we have Dr. Bosh, Matt.
I've got a different route for hydrating today.
Ooh.
Nice.
A blood orange cider. Although I can't actually work out where, definitely not in my office, I am and where the bottle opener is, because I definitely don't have one in the office.
Actually, that's
Isn't
why
it screwed to the wall?
they open any bottle.
Open any brothel.
And those as well.
No, I think we've established it is a red light that Ed's showing, so it could well be. Anyway. Oh, dear me. And hopefully a little bit cooler, because living in a country where they actually have air conditioning, we have Chris. Zankir.
Hello. Yes, it is actually quite pleasant. Quite pleasant for me right now. I'm sitting under a nice fan in a nice air-conditioned room. Not to rub it in or anything.
And it's this is where we lose Chris for the evening.
Technical difficulties.
If it makes you feel any better, that's another good ring about playing, possibly not, definitely not in the office, is I have air conditioning in here.
Oh, nice.
Okay. 2 character deaths in one evening. We've got fantastic. Can we make it 3? Amy, you look like you're sat by a warp core in so many ways. Does it feel like you are?
It is. I've got fans. I've got the window going. Nothing is making a difference because it's all just too hot.
Indeed. Well, let's talk about the game. Well, actually, there is a Star Trek thing going to go off game just for a brief moment, because there's been an announcement today. I know Ed's aware of this. because I saw Ed's cheeky like on this Facebook post.
Ah.
But Star Trek have finally announced when season 3 of Lower Decks is going to be released.
Ooh.
I'm so excited. So excited. Do you remember when it is, Ed?
Is it? I've got something in August, 23rd of August, 30th of August.
25th. 25th of August. 25th of August.
Oh, that's not long to wait.
Literally, it's not like they announced it and you've got months to wait. It's like, hey, it's coming next month. Great.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like that.
The downside is some of us are going to be away the 25th of August at a festival.
Oh no, yes. There's internet in the field. We'll be
There's
fine.
internet and phones and such. Yes, so we'll definitely be watching that. And as some of you know, I was in Chicago, and before I went down with the COVID, I did actually manage to catch the Lower Decks panel at Mission Chicago, where they gave us, and I'm sworn to secrecy, I can't say anything about it. They showed us the first opening scene from season 3. I am unreasonably excited for everyone, particularly in this community, to see it. And I want you to bear that in mind, because when you see it, you'll go, I know why. Anyway, enough
Interesting.
teasers. I mean, for those who are desperate to know, the information is probably out on the internet somewhere, because you post something like that at a convention, somebody's going to spoil it.
Someone's got a camera fitted in their hat, haven't they?
Yeah, it'll be on Reddit.
Yes,
Don't worry.
it will be, no doubt.
Just need to work out how we find a screen big enough to play it. Oh,
Yes.
is there something that we can plug into Mush's van?
Maybe.
Ban?
Maybe.
I heard ban.
Yeah. If the same people are available, one of them had a van, which creates a power source that a screen could be attached to.
If someone can provide,
Portable projector is always a good shout.
Yeah.
if someone
Fields
can
don't have
provide a
much to
plug,
project onto.
Big sheet on the side of your van, that'll do it.
What about
Well,
if
what
you've
we
got
can
a
always-
really long extension cable?
What
Nah,
always in London?
I've got it. Right, I'll bring a TV that I can plug the laptop into, and we'll go to a pub. Or I'll just bring the laptop and we'll sit around that. What am I faffing about
Yeah.
for? Anyway, shall we play some games?
Yes.
So we've had a bit of a shift around in the old command structure, have we not? Anyone want to share any thoughts about that?
Kid him. I mean, what?
Davok
on my
has no
back, please,
emotions
doctor.
about the situation.
We are keeping the airlocks primed, just in case.
Good to know. Good to know. Ed, the previous captain there, keeping very quiet.
Yes, keeping you guessing.
Excellent. And how does Captain Wagner feel about this new crew?
I think the paranoia of dealing with the tendrils of Section 31, although little does he know that it's Section 31 that he's brushing up against, has struck him deep, and he is pretty uncomfortable on board a ship where there are more questions than answers so far. So we'll see how he manages going forwards.
Well, there's one easy thought on that, and that's rule number 98, and every man has his price.
Indeed.
He's just showing off that he actually had the rules of acquisition pulled up at the start of the game. That's all
Someone
that
was
is.
prepared today.
There has been no game of this when that hasn't had the rules of acquisition lined up ready.
There has
Yeah,
been
well.
lots of those.
You can tell when
Well,
he's like, A, D.
Even the cheap binding options.
I think it's more a case of scared to open the rules of acquisitions for fear of crashing the stream.
Or Amy shouting at me, one of the two.
Or one of
I
the
don't
two.
actually.
No, you get
So-
the silent disapproval, which is much, much worse.
Yeah.
But in regard to recent gaming events, would this be a good point for my character to inquire of the games master if he can adjust one of his values because he thinks it got challenged in previous episodes?
Talk to us.
Interesting.
Well, now, Stu, you probably have my character sheet somewhere easily available. No doubt.
You don't know my fouling system at all.
Easily available might be a stretch. Available, yes.
Yeah. Available, yes.
I've got it. I have
Fantastic. So there is there is one value, and it's the top one. And I wonder if that, if not fully challenged, has been somewhat challenged and is worth crossing out and replacing with a new one.
Well, as Adobe, there we go. It's finally loaded. Yes, I would 100% agree with that. Do you want? I mean, you don't have to share if you don't want, or would you rather?
Well, no, I think it's going to be worthwhile. But I think, and I was thinking about this week, I think I've come up with a value I'd like to put in its place. So I'm going to cross that one out. And if it's okay with you, actually, I'm just going to put that in here first. Everyone else can see that as well. I'd like to go with that one, if that's okay, as a replacement.
Yes. It's an interesting one. So it's a very different. It's not an is it an evolution? Are you seeing it as an evolution of the? It could be argued.
Yes. Yeah, I think yes. I think it's or a realization. You know, in the past we've got round things, and it's always sort of been, oh yeah, well you did okay, but there we lost. Basically,
yes.
We did it. I'm not sure about committing no mistakes. When you're doing it, you're not certainly you're actively committing mistakes, but you know. We lost. That's life, and I think that's a good one to put in there. I just thought of all. This is one of my favourite Star Trek quotes anyway, and one that I do point out to Grace as well. Sometimes this is a worthwhile life lesson, yeah,
I'm sure she takes it well
when she listens.
So should we share with the viewers who are probably wondering what the hell we're talking about, what the value is that's coming out and what the value is going in?
Yes. Shall I do it? Is my value? Okay. So I've removed, as it was challenged, Wraal's previous primary value, which was that he was more at home with humans and Klingons than he was with other Trill. And having had a bit of a rough run-in with, well, let's face it, both humans and Klingons, is removed that. And we've replaced it with the value, famous quote, in fact, that it's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life.
And it is, as you very rightly say, a really, really good quote and a fantastic life lesson. So that's going to be an interesting value to challenge as well.
Yeah, I think in game mechanics terms, I can spend a point of determination to make really cool things happen in game if I can link it into that, which I think, who knows what situations might occur. There may be occasions where that will be just right for that, which is what the value system is for.
Presumably any occasion when you think you're about to fail.
Yeah.
Every occasion.
I like it.
As long as you haven't committed any mistakes.
Mm.
Well, no one commits mistakes in their own life, don't they?
That's very true. Very true. Now, I'm going to excuse Captain Wagner from this, but Dr. Bov, Chief Zankir and Lieutenant Commander Davok, do any of you have any values that you feel have been challenged recently that you wish to change up?
My
I don't
values,
think I do. I think mine still stand pretty well.
Cool.
Mine don't really make sense. Now I know how to play the game. So I think at some point I might just tweak them to make a bit more sense of how Davok has turned out to be.
We can have a chat about that.
Yeah.
Air.
I think it's I didn't really understand what I was writing when I was doing it. So.
None of us did. We've all learnt this game as we've been going along. And Dr. Bosh?
It's definitely not a case of having the rules of acquisition prep, but not my character sheet.
There it is.
You can't
win. It is.
It's because I don't have Discord in the office on the machine, so trying to go back and suddenly find it, I'm scrolling through my conversations with Stu, which are a lot more prevalent than I realised.
Can't search
don't.
PDF,
I would say don't
maybe?
worry about it too much. Then, although I can.
I kind of need it to if I have to roll something.
Discord chat.
Yeah.
Yes, you will need it. I'll link it straight in our Discord chat as soon as I can find it. There you go. And you should have access to it now. There you go.
So, prepared as I was for this question.
So Matt, we've now decided that the value for Matt, not Dr. Bosh, but for Matt, is you can either have the rules of acquisition or a character sheet, but you can't have both.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
No, I think my values still stand. Distrust of female authority figures. Clear head in negotiations. Yeah. Can always find things for people, like a uniform, perhaps. And like security officers, but won't show it. And Reggie's still a fan. I'm still a fan of Reggie.
It's a firm favourite for some reason.
Yeah.
So just as a reminder, I don't hold all your values in my head at any given time. So
it just seemed like a very pointed question. That's why I was desperate to find it. Because I'm like, well, the others have said no. So what does Stu know that we don't know?
Oh no, no. But this is my get out clause for what I'm about to say. But you could have used one of your values on the games session when you acquired something from Beckett Mariner. You could have used that to get a point of determination.
Ooh. Can always find things for people.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been determined.
Just as a thought. Just as a thought.
Yeah.
As a learning, because we are all learning the game as we go, even though we are 2 seasons in on the whole thing.
Like a year and a half.
Still learning.
Learning the rules. Like 239, never be afraid to mislabel a product.
Okay, that's like 3 and 20 minutes.
That's the one. So, shall we proceed into the game itself and pick up where we left off? Well, we do so, as ever, with a log.
Captain's personal log, state 57378.3. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new commission for me, and I'm feeling wary. I've been transferred from command of the Melville to the troubled ship, the USS Livingstone. I say troubled as just yesterday the Melville was sent into the Shackleton Expanse to bring in the Livingstone and its crew for dereliction of duty. Having spoken to the senior staff, I don't believe they are particularly criminal, but rather may have been manipulated by some external influence. There's definitely something that they're keeping from me, though. I've retained the previous captain, Eelin Wraal, as my executive officer, and he seems helpful and competent. In fact, helpful and competent would be my best description of most of the crew. I've had one resignation, that of Chief Engineer Roger Thesaurus, but this has just given me the chance to bring over Zach McGill from the Melville. I don't mind admitting I feel a little better knowing that I have an officer I know and trust in a senior role here. I've asked Zach to check the Livingstone systems out for anything out of the ordinary. More urgently, however, we've been given our first mission under my command. We are to locate the SS Tesla, A civilian science vessel has gone missing while investigating spatial anomalies in a particularly unstable region of the Shackleton Expanse. It could be said that it's under pressure we reveal our true natures. So as we enter the unstable region, I will be watching this new crew carefully.
And that brings us back into the game. So, as you may recall, we left off last time just as the Livingstone, with shields up, entered the unstable region. And as the ship creeps forward, and the shields so far seem to be taking the brunt of the instabilities. Are you feeling slight vibrations through the deck plates, all of you? But nothing too much. You're not being thrown about like in the original series. We don't have comm panels exploding or anything like that. No, it's just more of a not even as bad as when you drive over rumble strips. Just a bit of a vibration so far.
Feel resistance there.
What would you like to do now?
Steady as she goes, Mr. Wraal.
Steady on course, Captain. Shields are up. All systems seem to be okay, though.
Would you like me to carry out some scans of the surrounding area?
That sounds like a good idea, Mr. Davok. Please proceed.
Yeah.
Nice, more momentum.
Yeah.
Excellent, as we bring ourselves into the first roll of the game. And just to let you know where we stand, because this is a brand new mission, we start with 0 momentum. However, I start with 2 threat per player. So 10. I'm starting with 10 threat.
And then I think there's a rule that when there's 5 people, you move the decimal point over.
500.
I have 100 threat. Thank you.
No, the other way.
I have 1,000 threat. Anyway, so sensor sweeps. I'm going to say this is going to be a difficulty 2 because of the instabilities in the region.
You said it was slight.
In the cast.
However, it is a reason and science roll, assisted by the ship's sensors and science.
And we get off to a not good start with 10, which is a success, and a 20.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Davok.
And what did the ship get?
Yeah, I'll do it. What was it again? It was sensors and security, you said?
Sensors and science.
Science, okay. So,
11 meters.
that's a success from the ship.
Ooh, we got 2.
Okay, so
you
do get your successes. And Davok, you think, fairly sure you've found the warp trail from the SS Tesla. It's badly degraded and it's really hard to pick up in this unstable region. But as a complication, I'm going to message somebody privately in Discord. Not going to say who it is.
Would I still get my bonus momentum?
Your bonus bit of information. So I have messaged someone in Discord. If you all check your Discord messages, one person has a message. Your bonus momentum. Do you know what I'm going to say? No, in this case, because you weren't the one who got the 2 successes. Yes, it is. My 3rd leg. Yes, you're. Yes, you're not
You
going
seem to be blushing there, Stu. Or you've got
it's the lighting.
Yeah, it's the same light as Ed.
Yeah.
He's sat very close.
Yes. The
Oh, that's what that is.
yes. So to answer your question, Amy, no. You don't get the momentum.
Okay.
The reason I'm saying that is because you didn't get the 2 successes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll relay that information that we found. I think I found the warp trail. It's quite degraded. I don't know how old it is, but I think we might be able to follow it. Is Bosh? Are you on the bridge?
I am indeed.
Okay. Cool.
So Wraal, the general direction that that Commander Davok's put out for these warp trails lead directly to a system in the Expanse known as the Organ System.
Right. So if I, based on that, I can set course for that or plot a course for that. Can I, based on anything Davok has supplied, set, will that help? Will I be able to figure out the best route that the degraded trail would have been on, or would have gone?
It seems to be on a direct route.
Okay, nothing fancy then.
So no, avoiding other planets and so it wouldn't be other planets, but spatial anomalies, hazardous nebulas, that kind of thing.
Okay, based on that then, shall I plot course, Captain?
Yes, Helm. Do we know anything about the Organ system?
Nothing rings a bell to me.
So, Davok, you can call up information on the Organ system. It is a single star system with a yellow star, not entirely unlike Sol. However, there are, quite unusually for a system like this, there are 2 M-class planets. Organ 2 and 3 are both M-class planets.
Do we know what happened to one?
Oh, Organ 1's there. It's just not an M-class planet. That's a gas giant. No, it wouldn't be a gas giant.
Redacted.
Being one. It'd be way too
inhospitable,
hot.
rocky.
Yeah.
Unpleasant, rocky type.
Not
Demon
within the
class
Goldilocks
planet.
zone.
Yeah.
So I guess we could be said to be following the Organ Trail right now, right?
Oh, very good.
Bosh, please prefer a lot of cholera and typhus relations.
Dysentery.
Dysentery.
I think I need to see a doctor after that one. But I'm not feeling very well. Could you check me over, please?
But of course. So I'll do a scan, focusing obviously on the sections of the brain that I know are problematic.
Okay. I'm going to make this a difficulty 0 then. Give me it's going to be a reason and medicine.
Just give me a reason. Let's have a look. Reason and medicine. It's a good job. It's a difficulty 0 because I got 1.
You got 1, so
we
you
got
got
a
a momentum.
Momentum 1.
So yeah, only just. Reason 10, medicine 5. I got a 15 and a 19.
So close to complication. I've got a feeling this episode's going to be interesting. So yes, you
Knocking the tricorder.
yeah, Bosh and his tricorders. So yeah, that same region of the brain is currently in a state of hyperstimulation.
I will turn to Wraal. Captain, Captain, might I suggest that Mr. Davok gets some rest?
What prompts you to say this, Dr. Bosh?
We'll look around. Is everyone on the bridge copied into everything that we know what's going on?
We are.
Currently on the bridge. You've got yourselves and random crew member 14 at the tactical station.
Mr. Davok, Dr. Bosh, my ready room now, please.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Zankir is not currently on the bridge. There's something else that I want to be doing, but we'll come back to that once this clears up.
Random crew member 13.
There are lots of random crew members here.
Yeah, Ed's got to print some stuff out quickly.
Right, I found one.
Captain, yeah, just Mr. Davok mentioned they were feeling a little off. I've done a scan, and the lobe that we talked about with the part of the brain that's triggered by these anomalies somehow is showing signs of being stimulated. Obviously, Mr. Davok, being true to their word, has let us know what was going on. I just figured it was probably worth that they took a step away from any control systems.
Mr. Davok, how would you feel about spending some time with the Counsellor? Starfleet has cleared you for duty and has done so after a medical examination and a report that says that these anomalies can potentially trigger driven behavior in you. And we have to assume that they know something and have a reason for sending you on this mission. I think perhaps spending some time with the Counsellor to see if you have any sense of a communication from a possible alien source might be worthwhile if you feel that you would be up to it.
I mean, I'm hearing things. I feel fine, I think, but I recognize I probably shouldn't be hearing the things that I am hearing.
And would you be happy to spend some time with the Counsellor just to see if we can make any headway on the meaning of what you appear to be having communicated to you?
Yes, I don't believe I can hear any words being spoken to me. It's out of reach somewhat. But yes, I'm happy to speak to the Counsellor. But I don't know if I'm after what happened last time.
I have another thought, sir. It's the sort of thought that Mr. Wraal encouraged. So I don't know whether you wish me to voice it or keep it to myself.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Might it be, we've got some idea of what these sort of stimulation, which part of the brains are done. Might it be worth opening it up some more? I don't mean physically open up, but maybe there's something that we can do to let the... Sorry.
Hey, you said it.
We just did the action. Get away from my... Reggie will be very displeased if you go near Mr. Davok with a tin opener.
Sorry.
What exactly are you suggesting, Doctor?
I'm suggesting, sir, that maybe there is some sort of chemical component that we could put together that might increase her psychic abilities somewhat.
That sounds like a very interesting theory, Dr. Bosh, but it sounds like one that should be approached with caution, given that we don't understand what we might be opening up contact with. Are you happy to coordinate with the Counsellor and work with Mr. Davok in sickbay to see what you could do to begin to explore those possibilities and ensure Mr. Davok's health and mental well-being at the same time?
I would, sir. You look like the sort of man that would know that the riskier the road, the greater the profit. I mean, advance in this instance.
I believe I've heard that saying somewhere. Very well, Dr. Bosh. Please escort Mr. Davok to sickbay and call on the counsellor to join you at his convenience.
Will do. We dismiss, sir?
Yes, and with that, we'll return to the bridge.
Mhm.
Okay, well, presumably Bosh and Davok are going to the sickbay straight away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
The Legion of
Zankir,
Doom.
what's been going on?
So I, during this time, would like to try and use some of my Section 31 prowess and contacts to find out every scrap of information I can on Captain Wagner and this McGill chappie. I don't know what his rank is, so I'm just going to call him McGill.
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant? Okay. Yeah, I want to go through our secure files, and if I have any specific contacts that I can reach out to try and pull any information.
Right. Very interesting thing happens.
Obviously over secure channels, so that it is not recorded in the ship's logs or anything.
Yes, the channel that you would normally use to access Section 31, that channel doesn't seem to exist.
Oh,
Try channel 3.
okay.
As the
Presumably,
joins, we go into hard mode.
Presumably, I would know some people I could reach out to just in person. Can I attempt to just send a coded message to an ally and see if they can get me something?
You absolutely can. Are you looking for someone more senior than yourself in Section 31, less senior, or approximately a peer?
Probably someone on my level.
Okay, you send out a discreet coded message. I'm gonna say,
Make
give
a
me
roll for Thieves' Cant.
Yeah, and if I need to, I'll have it be look like it's addressed to a family or something, and just saying, updates from the ship. We've been joined by a new captain and one of his engineers. They seem like fine fellows, but I'd like to really get to know them a little better. Maybe I'll have a chance to do that in the near future. Love, Zankir.
no problem.
Yes, please feed the cat.
As you can imagine, Section 31 has a number of different protocols to follow with this sort of thing that make it almost impossible to de-encode. I'm going to say, give me a control and engineering roll. I'm going to say difficulty 1 for it to be undiscoverable. Are you using the ship's communications?
Would I be able to do that and not have it logged?
So that will increase the
actually,
but
it
yes.
doesn't matter. If I'm coding it, it doesn't matter, because it's just going to look like it's going to a friend or family.
You're happy for the call to be logged, then the difficulty remains the same. And yes, you can use communications and engineering as an assist.
All right. And does this come under my subspace communications focus?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. 2 successes.
Yeah.
Just
One
I needed an 11. I got a 10 and an 11.
Excellent. So you get a momentum for that. Somebody want to roll for the ship?
Yeah.
Communications and engineering.
I rolled a 16. So Probably no.
No, you needed 10 or below. Okay, yeah, you feel confident that has gone and wended its merry way.
All right. I'll just wait for a response. At this point, I would head up. I would head bridgewards.
As you're about halfway up, you get the call to come to sickbay. Just as you're that part, just a little bit further from your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, just far enough that I have to turn around and walk all the way back. Yeah. He just gives a huff, turns around, and walks to sickbay.
Just as you're about to get to sickbay, you go, actually, no, we'll come to your office. It's probably a better.
I will go to wherever they want me.
You're a Tellarite. They're famously accommodating.
Yeah. He's not going to be grumpy at all when he turns up.
You arrive in sickbay.
Yes, Doctor.
So the lieutenant here is having the beginnings of another episode. The captain wanted you to have a talk to him and see if you can get to the bottom of everything. I was wondering if we can help boost it a little and maybe see what comes through.
A bit dubious with having you play around with my brain, I will say.
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, don't say that.
Afraid you might feel something.
Don't need to feel anything.
Interesting. It has potential. We need to be careful, though, given the controlling nature of these communications.
Just as a quick reminder in game, something that perhaps will be very much on each of your minds. The last time a Dr. Bosh played around with someone's psychic abilities, we ended up with a crossover from another universe.
Yeah, hence the dubiousness.
I mean, it's already gone once. It's not going to...
Lightning never strikes twice.
Bad luck comes in threes.
Well, presumably we can isolate the signal so as not to draw anything.
We find out where it's coming from.
Potentially.
How would you propose to do that?
Use my brain.
That old
Think
chestnut.
really hard.
Are you saying you want to focus on like?
Yeah, can I do some like Vulcan meditation into my psychic? Is that a thing that Vulcans can do?
Vulcan shit is a thing.
Yeah. I have a value about that actually will fit because I vibe with being Vulcan. So if it's really Vulcan-y, I can do that.
Are you saying that you've got something on your character sheet that's actually useful, Amy?
Yeah, I didn't think it would ever come in useful, to be honest. Like, other than being super logical, but I guess I can be super telepathic.
Right. Okay. This is going to be a difficulty 3.
Mm-hmm.
And because it involves letting go of some of your emotional control, that's why it's a difficulty 3. I'm going to need a daring and medicine roll from Davok.
Okay.
Now, before you actually do it, obviously Dr. Bosh and Chief Zankir are with you is there anything either of you would like to attempt to do to help or assist or protect, or you tell me?
I have, Doctor, I have read reports of some old Earth science where presumably sensory deprivation tanks could be used to enhance one's telepathic ability. I saw it in a TV show once called Fringe, which is very good, that everyone should be watching. From like 10 years ago.
I saw the first season, and didn't it go a little bit like...
It goes off the rails eventually, but you've just got to stick with it. It gets back there.
Fringe, the Wikipedia of science. Fantastic.
I'm just trying to remember what study
that was a legitimate suggestion of sensory deprivation. I don't know if it has any bearing in this universe, but
well, Davok, you would know that Vulcans do actually employ a form of sensory deprivation as a meditative technique.
I know that.
Dr. Bosh, it's very easy to adapt a biobed to create a sensory deprivation zone, one that you can still monitor and
Okay.
I would also recommend, with your permission, Lieutenant Davok, that we restrain you, just in case, given the prior run-ins with this force.
Yeah, as long as I'm not drowning in a shallow, salty water, that's fine.
Yeah, won't be using water for this. Actually use force fields rather than water.
Oh.
So actually the deprivation itself is a form of restraint in terms of force fields.
Okay.
Anything else anyone would like to do?
I've got a focus in medical compounds, their use and cost. Is there anything that I could give him that would like enhance relaxation or stimulate certain parts of the brain, or
Open my third eye.
Yeah, that kind of...
The closest you've got to this would be... there are certain drugs that will basically strip Davok of his emotional control. However, using it for any length of time,
Terrible idea. Don't do this.
More than a couple of minutes is likely to have basically cause brain damage.
I'll put the question to it. We can.
We could maybe try the other stuff first.
Yeah, I think
perhaps that's a plan B.
Yeah, if we need to, but I mean, we don't even know if it's a good idea yet to do this.
Okay, I'll give a very, very mild for humans, so next to nothing for a Vulcan, but a sedative just to relax the body a little.
Is there anything we can do to allow us to also kind of listen in, like link to Davok, so that we can also be a part of whatever communication is happening?
I mean, yeah, we could try and hook that's more of an engineering type thing to try and.
Yeah, that sounds dangerous.
You'll need something to like a receptor that can then translate what, because it may not even be in something that we can understand. I mean, we could put a probe in, but I don't know. The interface is not my department.
Yeah, technically, there's nothing at hand, really.
Okay.
However, Davok could, before doing this, instigate a mind meld with one of you.
I don't
Not
have
with
that
me.
as a thing. I think you need it as
I have a
talent in
sneaking
the game.
suspicion. Yeah, actually, I think you're right.
Yeah, I didn't take that. I took nerve pinch.
So maybe this is outside of the rules. I mean, we're so far off out in the sandbox now. Anyway, so all Vulcans latently have the ability to mind meld. Dr. Bosh, it would be possible for you with your medical knowledge. There would be risks involved, of course, but it would be possible for you to guide Davok into instigating a mind meld. It would have to be with Zankir, of course, because you're going to be busy guiding. But that be risky, but possible.
I feel like rather than you two joining in, if this is the first time we're going to do it, I would rather have you two available to help if it all went wrong, rather than dealing with the wrongness at the same time.
Okay.
Makes
I'm
sense.
not even 100% sure whether it would work on a Tellarite.
I think that's too much of a risk. It's all right, it's just me.
Very well. We'll be on hand should anything go wrong.
Have a go then.
Okay, so Davok, you prepare yourself on the bio bed. The force fields kick in and you feel yourself lifting off the bio, but not far, just like half inch. But you lose a sensation of contact with anything. Dr. Bosh, you lower the lights surrounding the bio bed to full darkness and put audio dampeners around the bio bed. So Davok, you are in a state of complete isolation. Just as a point of interest, have you planned anything so that Dr. Bosh or Zankir can contact Davok whilst in this isolation? Let's call it an isolation tank. Even
Yeah, we need a safe word.
Mine's pineapple.
I always go with Mesopotamia.
Mesopotamia.
I presume we have. I presume we have some way of communicating into the pod, or like ways of listening in from outside. Should we
Certainly,
need it.
you can listen in very easily. That, like, observation is not a problem at all. You can see in, but Davok can't see out.
Okay.
You can rig up a communication system so that you'll break through, basically by pushing a button, push to speak system. But of course, if Davok is in a very deep meditative trance, suddenly doing that can be dangerous.
Yeah. It's a ripcord option.
Yes.
So let's have it there just in case, but it is just in case. If things look to be going extremely south, we'll pull the ripcord.
Okay. So with that in mind and your safe word of Mesopotamia firmly in mind, Davok, you put yourself into this deep meditative state. So let's have this difficulty 3, daring, and medicine roll.
Do you want to add some dice to that, Double?
Yeah, is it okay?
You have 2 momentum.
Yeah, should I take a momentum? Yeah.
Yeah, I do have.
Yeah, this seems serious, so we should probably do that. All right. First 2.
Did we lose Stu?
No.
Oh no.
Oh,
Should
no,
we?
there he is. Your camera froze.
Right.
I only got 2 successes. My third dice was a
Okay.
19.
Because of the isolation tank, I'm going to allow you to re-roll a single die.
Oh. Fingers crossed it's not a 20. It's a 16, which is still a fail.
It's still a fail. So Davok,
15.
your struggling a little bit to let go of your emotional suppression, which is unsurprising because it's something, sort of ingrained into Vulcans from birth. However, you do get, at one point, you feel the voices. You're sort of in your head, you're sort of heading towards the voices, and you hear the whispering and the susurration getting slightly louder, slightly louder, slightly louder, and then suddenly you're overwhelmed by these voices. There's a note in the Discord as to what you actually hear, as it brings you straight back out of your meditation. If you were a human, you'd be really shaken. Outside of this, Bosh and Zankir, you're watching, obviously, Davok's medical signs, and you're seeing respiration, heart rate slowing, as you would expect, going into a meditative state. Suddenly, everything, adrenaline and everything and brain activity is suddenly up through the roof, spiking across the board. What would you all like to do?
Is Davok out of the trance now, or still in?
Well,
still
Davok
in
knows that
psychic
Davok is
communication.
out of the trance.
Okay.
Okay.
I assume there's a way of me communicating
Yes,
with
you can
the
just
outside
speak.
world in here. I could press
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Davok, are you okay?
I think so. I think I need to get out of this now.
Why?
I've managed a brief contact. It wasn't long, and I could only, they were saying, free us.
Okay. What are you going to do if we let you out?
I'm sit here.
Okay.
I'm not pressing my fingers.
I want to stop 50% of the force field, enough that if he wanted to, he could sit upright, but his legs are still attached to the bed.
Yes, you can easily do that.
A wise
Are you
precaution.
dropping the darkness and the audio suppression as
But
well?
it says it's all gone from the top half anyway, so
Okay.
So tell us what happened.
So, I'll fill you in.
And we will hear what Davok has to say after this quick break. We will be back in a moment as we refresh our drinks, oh so essential in the current heat.
Stay hydrated.
Stay
Stay
hydrated,
refreshed.
everyone. And don't go anywhere. That's an order. We'll be right back.
Hailing frequencies are open.
And we are back. I hope you're all watered up, fed and watered, and what have you. So, gosh, what do we think's going on?
No idea.
I have some theories. I'm not sure. Not sure how much I want to give away of my theories at this point.
Okay.
But I'm starting to feel a connection to the Atlantis at this point.
Right.
Is it
That's
a giant
where my brain's
spider?
going. Yeah.
It's certainly nice to have
Electronic spider. Sorry, what
I was
was
going
that?
to say it's nice to have it sort of confirmed that it is an intelligence of some description coming through the anomalies psychically, because I think up until this point we weren't totally sure even that was necessarily the case. So at least we've learned a little bit already this evening.
Oh man, can you imagine the "I told you so's" that are about to happen? It's going to be beautiful.
Interesting. You think it's an intelligence?
It's probably not an
I suppose
intelligence.
we don't know anything for sure. Yeah,
That's a...
It's not an intelligence. It's web.
Well, shall we crack back on and see if we can find out what it is, perhaps? And hello to Walter, who's joined us in the chat.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, let's crack back in. So, Davok, you were about to spill the beans.
Yes, I have asked you a question in the Discord, if you don't mind.
Oh, have you?
Yes. So
let me respond. Hopefully my response makes sense.
Lovely. Okay, cool. So it was difficult, and I'm not very good at this kind of thing. But after a bit of time, I seemed to make some sort of strong contact with them for a brief moment. And I got the idea that they wanted to be free.
Free of what?
From that contact. I don't know. Just that they wanted to be free. Free us. And then it went. And I don't. And I feel like I feel fine now. Is it still there a little bit?
Did what, sorry?
Is it still there a little bit? Have I got that?
Oh, the susurration. Yes.
Yeah. It's still there. But I feel like myself.
Okay.
Well, it could be that the anomalies we've been seeing, the things that have been causing this, it could be that we're just feeling the remnants of a psychic burst. I imagine a creature with enough psychic potential, if it was in trouble, could fire out a pulse of such power that you're picking it up.
Like an echolocation on underwater creatures.
Potentially, yes.
Like what are those earth animals? Whales? Like a space whale?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, I know enough about space whales.
What space whales?
No. Well, it seems to follow the anomaly. With the last one, it went with the anomaly. So I don't know. I wonder, how long have we been doing this for, Stu?
I would say a good hour has passed whilst you've been in the sick bay.
Can I notice any change as we've continued our journey through this past hour in what I'm hearing and feeling?
No.
No.
It's just beyond. It's one of those things, if it was happening to a human, it'd probably be like really frustrating because it's ever so slightly out of, like hearing a voice just slightly out of earshot.
Like a quiet tinnitus.
Is there a connection to the anomalies? Like, are they still going on? We're just kind of avoiding them at this point.
So you're in a region of space that is basically one big well, it's one low level, but the whole region is particularly unstable.
Unstable space and weird psychic.
Aye. While we haven't got the measure of him yet, I do believe the captain should be informed of this.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Yeah. Captain, you join us to the
Doctor.
sick bay, please.
Straight away. Number one, you have the
just
bridge.
before the captain does leave the bridge, is there anything that's been going on the bridge whilst this has been happening? Because, like I say, this has taken about an hour.
They've been playing I Spy.
It would be good to try and dig into the information we have a little bit more and see if there's anything beyond their M-class planets in the system that we know about. Where we're headed to.
Okay. So, Captain, give me. I'm going to say control and security roll. I'm going to make it difficulty 1. Control and security assisted by the ship's computers and security.
Okay, so talking of learning curves, as we were at the beginning of the session, this is my first really kind of proper role in the game. So for control and security, I'm adding the 2 stats together, and that's the target number I'm hoping to score under, basically, right?
Yes, match your score under with 2 d20s.
Okay. That is 116, which is a fail, and 15, which is a success.
Excellent. So 1 success so far. Who's rolling for the ship?
Well, I'll do that as I'm sat on the bridge as well. Remind me, the bridge is helping with?
16 you want to get.
16.
Computers.
Oh, a 14.
Security. Excellent. So you get a momentum. Yay.
Hey.
Yes, there have been some long-range probes pass through this area. There's not a great deal of evidence. Both M-class planets are populated. There are signs of technology on both planets. The state of development is unknown.
But no notes of any warp signatures or anything detected, anything that would indicate that in what we have.
There weren't any detected as the probes passed through.
Okay,
that
brilliant.
May be out of date information. May have been it just happened to pass through on a slow day. There are many reasons why one might not detect a warp signature.
And
cool.
Commander Wraal, is there anything that you want to have been doing in this time?
In all honesty, I have no idea. I think I'm just busy enough monitoring ship systems and keeping us from bumping into anything.
Sounds good.
Navigating this region of space, and especially now Davok's not sat in the science chair, you are using Davok's adjustments to the science, to the scanners, to avoid any major instabilities. But it is definitely taking your attention to do so. Okay, and that brings us right up to date as Captain Wagner heads down to sickbay.
Hello, Doctor. What do you have to report?
Well, I think actually, Commander Davok should probably report in a bit more detail, but we may have stumbled across something.
Yes. Well,
go ahead, Mr. Davok.
It was Bosh's idea, but we decided to amplify the situation to see what we could hear better, to understand what was going on. And we got the sense, well, I got the sense that whatever was communicating this wanted to be freed.
Okay, that's useful to know. Did you detect where the communication might be coming from, or whether there seems to be more than one voice, or anything that could give us more insight into the message?
Yeah, it's hard to describe it as a voice because it's not something that I could hear words being said, but I did understand everything. I don't know where it came from. The contact was only very brief, and it took a while to sort of manage it. Yeah, it just seemed like many voices trying to get that across.
Okay, this is very useful information to have gleaned. Do you, Mr. Davok, there would be a purpose behind attempting further communication in this way?
We could try again, I guess. It's very difficult, and I would be worried about the effects of doing so.
In that case, can I suggest that you just remain in sickbay for the time being and let Dr. Bosh make sure that there's no more ill side effects from the contact that has been had, and report to me if anything changes.
Yeah, I do feel fine at the moment, though, so I would like, if okay, to go back to my senses.
To your stations, yeah. Yeah. Dr. Bosh, do you feel that Mr. Davok is good to return to station?
I believe so.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we could do with you back on the bridge, Mr. Davok. So if that's all there is to report, follow me and we'll return there now.
Just a moment, Captain.
Yes, Doctor.
I'll just wait for the other two to wander off. It may be advisable, just because of the unknown nature of everything that's going on with this, having a quick lockout on her station. Not my expertise, of course, but obviously without knowing exactly what's going on. Maybe it's a suggestion.
Bosh, you haven't undone these leg restraints. I am right here. But I appreciate the concern, so maybe it's better I just stay here.
Bosh isn't even going to go, he's just going to just touch a button and just...
Yeah.
Well, Lieutenant Commander, I think all things considered, perhaps a little bit more rest in sick bay, or alternately in your quarters might not be a bad thing, and we can see what tomorrow holds for returning to duties on the bridge.
Oh, no, don't
get the pain away.
I mean, it also might be useful having her have free run of things, and who knows where it might take us. But that's what we did last time, so maybe you want to follow a different course.
I think that's a wise precaution, Doctor. And Mr. Davok, your choice to remain in quarters or remain with Dr. Bosh here in sick bay just now, but return to the bridge might have to wait till tomorrow.
I didn't hear any of that because I'm in a bubble of quiet.
No, to be fair, I think Bosh would have released. He would have known enough to release that.
No, I like to think that he forgot.
It's certainly funnier this way.
Yeah, doctors always forget about their patients on the table. They just say a load of things over the top of their head.
Yeah.
I'll leave that call up to Matt.
I'm a sucker for comedy value. That's the problem.
It is a great visual, just the camera pan from the serious conversation to Davok just over your shoulder. Just
fair.
I can stay here. It's fine.
Yes, I also recommend a brief period of rest before coming back to duty. In my professional opinion, Captain.
Excellent. I think that's settled then. And Counsellor, if you'd like to join us on the bridge.
Of course.
Excellent. We'll make our way there just now.
Okay, and just as you arrive back on the bridge, Commander Wraal, you are arriving at the organ system.
Now then, you said we have 2 M-class planets here. So I think I will, if possible, navigate between the 2, but to a position where we can easily reach either of them and await the rest of the bridge team coming in to advise where we would, which one we'd like to investigate first, if any.
No problem. You find yourselves back on the bridge. The ship is parked.
Okay, it's already parked. Is there any natural part of the system that we can sort of hide ourselves in that would draw less attention, even from slightly more advanced technology than we would maybe expect to find with what we know, to err on the side of caution of putting our foot in it, of walking into detection?
So the whole area of instability is having an effect on sensors anyway. If it's a more advanced technology, that's a really hard one to gauge, because if they're more advanced, you don't know how far advanced they are, you don't know what they can see, what they can't see, what would stop their sensors from working, what would make them blind. That's a really difficult one. But if it was at Federation level, again, you'd have to know what direction they were looking from. So you'd looking to hide yourselves from the planets, or?
Yeah, I think, obviously there could be satellite networks or stations on what we thought were uninhabited worlds, and we can't really, try and preempt all of that. But yeah, to hide ourselves from the planets themselves, and just try and keep out of the way as much as we can, rather than sort of attempting too much discretion.
Okay, an orbit around Organ 4, which that should do it, as long as, like, basically you're always keeping the ship the other side. Yes.
Makes sense. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so Mr. Wraal, if you can set in the course to do that and begin scans for any signs of warp technology, or any information that might affect our potential first contact situation here.
Hey, Firm Captain, duck blind orbital course set for Organ 4.
Excellent.
As for the scans, the crew person, we have Grace Wilson sat in the science chair at the moment.
Very useful.
Who tells you that it's, with the instabilities in the region, it's too far to scan. You would have to get much closer. Basically, in order to scan the planet, you would have to go into orbit of it.
And I presume that a probe is again off the cards in this region.
No, you can launch probe, and as long as the probe returns, it can return with the telemetry. Can't transmit the telemetry across this distance, but it can return with it.
Okay, I think if it can't transmit, it's probably too. Yeah, there's potential undesirable consequences of going with the probe. So it doesn't look like we have much choice but to. I presume scans are showing no sign of the Tesla either.
Not at present, but it will be too far to see.
Yeah.
You know that the warp signature does stop completely in this system.
In that case, I think a nice and slow course towards the M-class worlds is what we'll go for next.
Okay, I'll pop a peekaboo course out from behind the planet and steadily approach whichever's the closest one.
The closest one would be, actually, because of the way the orbits are happening at the moment, would actually be Organ 2. Would be slightly closer at the moment.
I'll report that to the bridge in general. Approaching Organ 2.
Okay.
Normally I would say open a channel, but we...
You want to open a channel to the planet?
Well, I was going to say normally I would say open a channel, but we don't know if there's a channel to open because are we able to scan now that we're closer to the planet?
If you're coming into orbit of Organ 2, yes, you can scan it.
Excellent. And presumably sort of visually we're not seeing anything immediately in terms of big space stations sitting off the planet or anything like that.
Nothing is showing on sensors as it stands at the moment. I'm just checking. Did we do a sheet? We did, yes.
Yeah, it's special.
Yes, I've called it up. Have you got it, Amy, or would you like it? Because
check it in the thing.
Right, that you run.
I can use all my good luck.
Here we go.
Rolls. They're so good today.
There we are, Amy. So let us have reason and science, assisted by the ship's sensors and science. Are you scanning for anything particular, Captain?
I think we're focusing on any signs of the Tesla and generally trying to get an impression of the technology level of the civilization for first contact purposes.
Okay, so obviously there are certain materials that are unique to the Federation that you wouldn't find, or it would be very rare to find on planets generally. So that would be a good way of scanning for the Tesla. So you're scanning for two things. Okay, give me reason and science difficulty 2, assisted by sensors and science.
I got 1 success.
And would you like to spend momentum, by the way?
What did the ship get?
Who's rolling for the ship?
Well,
Number 1?
Oh, no, it'll do it.
Or Matt?
Ship gets an 11.
Ooh, I think it's just right.
For the ship's sensors and science, exactly. So the ship gets 1. You get 1. Did you say?
1.
Davok?
Yeah, that's 2.
So that's your 2. Sorry, Grace Wilson. Okay. On Organ 2, you find a reasonable level of technology, not dissimilar to early 22nd century Earth. No signs of warp technology whatsoever, or any form of faster than light travel. And no evidence of the Tesla either.
Okay. In that case, can we plot a course away towards Organ 3?
Course for Organ 3 laid in and engaging full impulse.
And you do so. I'm not going to have you roll in for that because that's a really easy one. And assuming you're looking for exactly the same thing, let's again have reason and science assisted by sensors and science difficulty 2.
Come on, Grace. It's a shame. Should I have focus? Focuses don't work, but I got 1 success with a 2.
The ship rolled a 4. Got another success there.
Oh, so 2 successes. So, first thing that happens at the science station is there is a ping of alloys unique to the Federation on the largest continent. And again, there is a population not dissimilar to Organ 2, to be honest. Maybe slightly more advanced. You think that maybe the technology is comparable to maybe early 23rd century Earth, however, without the warp technology again. Again, they do not appear to have faster than light travel.
How precisely we've been able to track the Federation technology signatures they've detected?
You have coordinates.
Oh, excellent. What's the terrain like in the region? Are we able to tell that from the scans?
Mountainous, rough terrain. It's
even better.
I mean, you can't get an exact picture of it, but you do know,
sure,
like geologically speaking. Grace Wilson, give me an insight and science roll, and tell me what you get.
Just 1 dice or 2?
2 dice.
A 20 and a 9, which is a success.
Okay, so there are, it seems, a number of geological instabilities spreading throughout Organ 3. They seem quite serious, and unfortunately the instability has become too much for the sensors, and they shut down.
I've lost the sensors.
We check behind the sofa.
But there were definitely signs of geological instabilities throughout the planet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sounds like we may not have much time to mount a team to investigate whatever has happened to the Tesla. Number 1, would you like to lead an away team to the surface?
Always ready.
And it seems like this might be a great chance for our new chief of security to join you.
That's going to be an interesting wake-up challenge.
No, half and half. It's going to be so good.
Challenge accepted.
And Dr. Bosh, if there are survivors or anyone who's hurt, it seems to me that it would make a lot of sense to have a medical officer there. Whether you would like to go yourself or send someone you trust from your team, I will leave up to you.
I will definitely accompany.
Excellent. One big order here, of course, is to be as discreet as possible. We will we will kit you out in the most sort of generic robe-like garments we can possibly manage here.
Big hood over the ears.
Yeah.
Reggie will need a really big hood.
But I am hoping that as we are hoping to place you into rough mountainous terrain, that it may not be particularly densely populated, and if we can get you as close as possible to the Tesla, that we may be able to avoid you having to have any contact with the inhabitants of this planet. We want to preserve the integrity of the Prime Directive.
Right, sir.
Okay, Stu, You tell me. I am presuming that there is nothing from the scans that we have that suggests that it's an obviously bad idea to beam down an away team to this area.
So for beaming, the instabilities in the area would kind of negate that possibility, and especially with the sensors down. The sensors would be kind of essential part of beaming.
So it's shuttlecraft or Boston actually putting someone on the surface of the planet.
And very, very easily get us down there in a shuttlecraft if necessary, sir.
Do we even have shuttles?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that's a good point.
Well, I know we've got
Do you want to...
something we can't access just yet, but I don't know if we have actual shuttles.
No, would you like to list off the names of the shuttles there, Ed?
Yes, indeed. Livingstone has several shuttles of varying types. Let me just check back to the original Livingstone. One moment. No, there she is. And, well, slightly extended shuttle bay. That she has a Type 10 shuttle, Shuttle Pod 1, the Shaman, one Type 6 shuttlecraft Peak, and she has 4 Type 18 shuttle pods, the Aron, the Rene, the Anton, and the Leonard.
So there you go.
The shuttle pod, though, because they're only 2-seaters, so it'll be one of the bigger shuttles we'll need.
Sounds like a plan.
So far, isn't there only 2 of you mentioned as going?
Reggie, Wraal, and
3.
the Doctor.
Oh,
3
Reggie as well.
And I'm presuming that Reggie or the Doctor are more than permitted to take members of their security or medical teams with them if they wish. So I suppose we can presume there are maybe a couple of red shirts if Reggie would like them behind him.
I have a funny feeling that where Mr. Davok goes, Reggie's going to be going as well.
Standard Starfleet procedure would be that the leader of the away team picks who goes on the away team.
That would
Now, the
be
captain
you.
can overrule that, of course.
Yes.
Commander Wraal, go for it.
Well, now, Mr. Davok, do you feel up to a bit of a leg stretch down there?
I feel fine at the moment. I think I feel fine. I don't know if I'll always feel fine.
That's true, Doctor. What would your suggestion be? Do you think Mr. Davok should come with?
Probably a both sensible and ill-advised suggestion. So I think yes, he should definitely join us.
And yourself, Counsellor, if only to maybe assist with Mr. Davok's current ailment.
If you believe that to be necessary, I'm concerned that there may not be much need for my skills, and with my obvious physical advantages over the more boring humans, I may stand out a little bit down there.
Very true. Perhaps you could monitor communications from here. We may need a solid link between us and the ship, even though we're going down by shuttlecraft. Obviously, I'd like to keep the captain advised of our progress while we're down there. We may need assistance from and moral support on this one.
Stu, can I have McGill working to try and get the sensors up and going?
Absolutely, and he will crack on with that. In terms of the shuttle and communications, basically the shuttle will act as a relay for your comm badges, and you should have no problem, assuming nobody rolls a 20 and stuff blows up and things like that.
I'm not really rolling.
You've got
only a greater than 5% chance of that happening
this evening. So you've got them all out the way.
Send me new dice, Matt.
One last thing before we send the away team off in the shuttle. Can we send them with the pattern enhancers that you sometimes see getting used on the show, just on the chance that we're able to get the sensors working and maybe have a shot at transport? There was a pinch situation that called for it.
You can spend a momentum to take some pattern enhancers with you.
What do we think, crew? Is it worth the momentum or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can always make more momentum, but we can't pick up pattern enhancers when we're down there.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, let's go for it then. Yeah.
Before you make a final decision, you're not entirely sure if the pattern enhancers would be effective with the subspace instabilities in the area.
Mm.
It sounds like my crew is saying that they would rather have the distant possibility than no possibility at all. So
It'd be crazy.
yeah,
It just might work.
Mm-hmm.
Rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them.
Excellent.
Yeah, I hope everyone's bought their raincoat.
Do we have an engineer going, since we don't know the state of the Tesla? If it's even there.
Yeah, I think we might want to keep McGill on the ship to work on getting the sensors up and going, but I'm sure we could allocate someone from engineering to join the away team.
Sidebar of that, it would be useful to take. We'll take a. I'm sure Reggie will send one of his security staff along with him. Let me just say so. Me, Reggie's red shirt in gold. Davok, the doctor, and an engineer. 6 seats. There we go. Perfect.
Yep. And that means that we can all be part of the away team with secondary characters.
Exactly. Nice mechanic.
Okay, and I have just using the Magell a random character creator.
Oh, I love it.
We have an engineer, a Betazoid.
Nice.
Deanna Nostrum. So there we go. That is your engineer.
It's better.
Yes, more psychics. That's what we want.
Those are going to be some fun rolls.
She's really good at science.
Oh, I love it.
Got an engineer in it too. Don't know what you're worried about.
Exactly. I mean, Davok would be better.
With control and daring as high as that is, and even insight, reason, insight, and daring are all pretty good. So yeah, science and engineering, yeah, she'd be good at either of those. Though she's got her eye on the big seat.
So with this football team of an away team that you're taking which fleet of shuttles are you which shuttle are you taking?
Now I think we took, if I remember, I think we took the Peak last time. So let's have a go with Shuttlecraft Shepherd this time.
Shuttlecraft Shepherd. Okay. So is there anything else anybody wants to do? Is there anything else you'd like to buy with your remaining momentum before going?
Would it be wise to bring something that if I don't know, with the voices, I don't know, I just feel like they're walking into something that might be difficult to handle.
Does Davok want to make a tinfoil hat?
Well, I need a hat to hide my pointy ears, right?
Well, you're all wearing these
just
big
do the
cloaks.
bandana.
Hoods.
Bandana.
Yeah. Bandana, just get right around my head and turn that into a hat. That's both uses.
I mean, to be fair, you have no idea what this population looks like.
No, we don't.
The Minotaur look like Vulcans. Or the Minotaur look like Tellarites, you never know.
I mean, let's
But should we
face
take, like-
it. It's a Star Trek episode. They all look human with maybe some bumps on their forehead.
Yeah.
Ridges or pattern. Yeah.
So we want to disguise it then with multiple noses, different ears.
You never know. So, but yeah, you're all wearing these big, heavy hooded cloak things, yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right.
Fantastic. So, yes, you all head down to the shuttle bay. Not at all looking like a cult. As you head into Shuttle Shepherd.
Shaman.
Shaman. Oh,
Like
you're
the toilet
shaman.
paper at the toilet.
That's charming.
It's quite a charming shuttle. The shuttles go.
It's very soft.
Right. So, Ed, I'm assuming you're piloting.
AFM.
Let's start with plotting the course, and actually, this is more charting hazard. Let's go with reason and con, assisted by the shuttle's sensors and con. Difficulty 3.
Ooh, so reason and con still a respectable 13.
Do you want to use your momentum?
Do you know what? I am going to use my bold con skill. I'm going to give you a threat and get a d20 that I can reroll.
Okay.
13, yes. Look. And, well, look at that. A 15, which helped there, but a 12 for one success, and a 4, which equals my con discipline of 4, and I have a focus in small craft.
Which applies nicely. That's your 3 successes. Somebody give me the shuttle sensors and con. Do we have stats for the shuttles?
I don't believe we do.
Sure, I think we can probably.
I rolled badly.
Well, let's use the Livingstone just for now, because they're going to be tethered anyway. So 12. No, so no help there. So you 3 successes. Yes, you managed to plot your course down to the planet as the shuttle takes off, flies through the force field of the shuttle bay, visits its way down towards the planet. You're all kind of interested. It's a bit more of a rough shuttle journey than you're all used to. This really is shaking, about. Yeah, definitely. Malcolm Reed's throwing up in the back. That kind of thing. As you do head down towards the surface, and you plot your entry into the atmosphere. You hit the atmosphere, go in at the right angle, or the correct angle, should I say? You don't want to go
at a right angle. That's a good idea.
And the shuttle is approaching the surface when suddenly, as he dumps a load of threat. The shuttle is hit by an EM pulse, knocking all. Can you make a controlled landing? I'm going to need daring and con.
Oh, even better.
Difficulty 3.
Have
one momentum.
Have some more threat. I'm going to go bold with my con.
Yeah.
You go bold with your con.
I guess I can re-roll that one. And daring and con. Yeah. And that was pretty easy. We've got a 3, a 7, and a 14.
Okay. Does that give you 4 successes?
1, 2,
The
3,
small
4,
craft
please.
would apply.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Nice.
gain a
And
momentum. As even though this is a rocky, mountainous area with massively miles high mountains, all sharp and craggy, and deep, deep ravines. You bring it down, you pull the nose up just at the last moment.
On the dashboard.
The shuttle slams into the surface, throwing you all around the inside of the shuttle, and it bounces and lands again, and a third time as it slides screechingly to a halt.
Oh,
and you know what? That's probably a good place for us to leave it for this evening.
Oh, it's cheeky. Cheeky.
Naturally, during all that, Reggie who had sat next to Mr. Davok, had basically grabbed Mr. Davok and basically put him in the brace position to keep him safe. Oh, right, Mr. Davok, sir, I've got you.
Yeah, you get an eyebrow for that.
Excellent. There we go. Well, you've made it down to where the Tesla is, at least.
You think?
Never to return.
Yeah.
I've got a funny feeling that I seem to remember a similar thing happened with another shuttlecraft on a strange planet.
Yes.
Or Gertie.
Suspicious.
She's still there,
Yes.
as far as we know.
Isn't that funny?
It is, isn't
Isn't
it?
that funny?
What a strange coincidence.
Yes.
A crazy random happenstance, if you will.
Yeah.
It's almost like the prequel, set on a completely different ship, might be in some way connected with the story you're currently doing.
That would be crazy.
Impossible.
That would be like Star Trek.
Oh, fantastic. Well done, everyone. Absolutely brilliant.
Good game.
Very, very
Thank you, Stu.
interesting and very interesting way you're going with the old researching the voices.
Find out more about them voices.
Yeah.
Maybe we should ask our new friend that's come along on our trip.
Deanna.
Yeah. And maybe Deanna's got an idea.
Deanna Nostrum.
Maybe.
Deanna Nostril?
Nostrum.
Nostrum.
Nostromo.
Nostromo.
Yes.
Well, that's going to bode well.
Well, you'll be pleased to hear that Deanna is one day away from retirement. So.
Good. Oh, good.
Being very red today.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for playing tonight, and thank you everyone for watching as well. Hopefully, are we all good for a fortnight as it stands at the moment?
As it stands, yep.
Fortnight time. So, assuming we all survive the heat, stay hydrated. Really important. Yeah, we will. See what happens next time on Organ 3. Woo! In the meantime,
is this the liver or the stomach?
Yes.
No, that's the week after, Stu.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, we will see you. Yeah, in a couple of weeks. All right. Take care, peace and long life. Live long and prosper. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.